Okay. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for all my new subscribers. I see you. I really appreciate the support, and I hope you like it. Yeah. Today I have a friend of mine, or my brother. I don't know what to call him. Nello.
Yeah.
He is a former LLB student at Unisa who recently graduated and started working. However, his journey hasn't been like the easiest journey, and I think a lot of people can relate with his story. And so I thought I wouldn't want to talk about, you know, a student at Unisa's experience without actually hearing it from the horse's mouth. And I think a lot of people can relate to the story. And yeah, Nello, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you so much. Hi guys, my name is Nello. I've studied LLB in the University of South Africa.
So tell us, okay, how did you find your experience at Unisa? How long did you study for? And what were your challenges at Unisa?
Okay, I've started my LLB 2016, second semester. In fact, second semester I was doing my diploma in law. So I decided to change to LLB, in which it took me almost 5 years to finish my degree.
Yeah.
My degree was a bit challenging, people, to be very honest with you. It wasn't an easy journey, to be honest with you. I used to sometimes sleep at Unisa, cross nights. I used to be there maybe sometimes around 6 at night and go back to my room around 3 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
And then in my journey, I used to be receiving criticism from a lot of people. And then while I was studying, I experienced some difficulties. I think it was on second year, yes. I had a financial difficulty, and because I didn't have NSFAS at that particular time. So I think I've contacted you, and you contacted the pastor. I think I was owing something like 6,000 rands. Because I needed to settle my debt and
before
also
you can proceed to second journey.
Yes, and then go to second year. So I remember I was crying that day when I sent you a message. I told you straight that at least this is the situation. I have to be going home because I do not have money to pay my school fees. And you made means to communicate with the pastor, and the pastor managed to pay my 6,000 something balance. I don't remember what was the balance, but it was 6,000 something rand. So it was such a difficult journey to be in Unisa. I didn't have everything like right. There was nothing that came smooth with me. Firstly, the pastor also used to help me with rent and food as well. To an extent that I felt like I'm bothering him, but he never got tired of myself, because I used to ask him for almost 1,000 something a month, and my mom was also giving me 1,000 something to pay rent.
Okay, so the gist of the story is that it wasn't an easy journey
at all
at Unisa.
At all.
Right. Can I ask you why you chose Unisa and like not another university?
First and foremost, I didn't qualify at Unisa.
You didn't qualify?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember you had to upgrade.
Good, yes. Yeah. I didn't qualify at Unisa. So I went to a school in Mabopane called Bana. So I went to upgrade my result. I was doing English, business studies, and economics and management sciences. So I made sure that I passed all my 3 modules with level 4.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that I qualify for
What's
a
level
degree.
4?
Level 4 means you get 50 something above.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I made sure that I passed all my modules, or rather my subjects, together.
And then once you upgraded your marks, you applied at Unisa.
Yeah.
Was it the only one that you applied to?
Yes, that was the only university that I applied to.
You finished studying LLB at Unisa.
Yes.
And then tell us about finding a job as a legal grad, because a lot of people complain that it's hard to find a job, especially if you studied at Unisa. Yeah.
Okay, when I got my first job, I think there's a lady called advertised a post in Twitter.
Yeah.
She said she needs an LLB student, or rather a person who has graduated for LLB
Yeah.
from UNISA.
Yeah.
She wants to train that person from UNISA.
So she specifically wanted somebody from UNISA.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's because she heard a lot of people criticizing UNISA students.
Okay.
So she wanted to
Train. Yeah.
one person from UNISA.
Okay.
So I've called her, and the lady was a bit soft to me. She's like, okay, you can come and we will talk about the rest. After that, she called and she's like, can you please come to Polokwane? So I traveled on Monday, midnight. I left Park Station, I think it was around 9 o'clock. I slept in the garage. It was very cold that day.
Yeah.
I remember I bought coffees. I think it was 4 cups of coffee because I didn't have enough of jerseys to be a
Warm.
bit warm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the lady didn't interview me.
She didn't.
She just wanted to meet me.
Okay.
And then she could know that this is Nello that I spoke to in the
On
phone.
the phone, yeah.
And the following day, I traveled back to Tembisa.
So was it guaranteed then you were gonna get the job?
Yes, when I
Okay.
arrived there, she told me straight that you have the job.
So you basically didn't interview, she just wanted to
Yeah.
meet you.
Yeah.
Okay.
She told me straight that you have the job. You starting on the 1st of November.
1st of November 2020, last
2020.
year, right?
Yes.
Tell us about your experience working. First of all, how long did you work there?
I've worked there for 5 months.
Until March?
Yes, until March.
2021, this year.
Yes.
How was your experience as a candidate attorney? How was it?
My experience was, to be very honest, it was quite difficult for myself to copy. They were supposed to register me on January 2021.
Yeah.
And of which they didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then salary-wise, it was not enough
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
To an extent that I couldn't afford to
Pay
travel
rent.
and pay
You
rent.
couldn't travel.
Yeah, I couldn't afford to travel.
Yeah.
So I remember sometimes I used to walk from town, Polokwane
Polokwane.
Central to Bendu.
How much?
I think it was 3 kilos.
No, how much did they pay you?
The first salary, I think it was 1.5
For November.
for November, 1.5. The second one, it was 2,000. The third one, it was 3,000. And I didn't exceed 3,000 at all.
So then they paid you 3,000 for the rest of the time that you were there.
Yeah, there was a time when I was never paid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was difficult
Yeah.
for me to survive because I didn't have a backbone from home.
Did they eventually register your articles?
They didn't at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's the reason why I had to leave.
Yeah.
So, remember, when I was in Polokwane, I made sure that I register for PLTs in Edu Park Center. So I've requested funding from this other man called, he's a geologist. So I've requested for funding, and fortunately enough, he managed to assist me. But the person who connected me to this guy, that guy assisted me a lot because he connected me with that guy. So they managed to pay my 16,000 rand
For PLT.
for PLTs.
That's very nice.
I didn't pay a cent, to
That's
be very honest
nice.
with you.
Yeah.
My PLTs was as well challenging
Yeah.
because I remember I used to walk 5 kilometers from work to the law school, to an extent that sometimes I would arrive at law school when I'm wet.
Yeah.
Wet to an extent that I'm just wet, like
Yeah.
anywhere. So it was quite a bit a challenge
Yeah.
for me, to be very honest with you.
Another question that I have is that did you eventually sign an employment contract, or you never signed an employment contract with them?
I've never signed an employment contract with them at
Yeah.
all.
And I think this is a lesson that we want to tell people, is that especially like people who are desperately looking for jobs, they forget the basic things that, you know, an employer is supposed to make sure are in place, right? They're supposed to give you an employment contract. They're supposed to register your PLTs, and sometimes they refuse to do it like blatantly, and because you're desperate, you say, you know what, it's fine, I'm getting something from this, I've been looking for a job, I'm desperate, so you accept it. But you should not accept, you can't accept these things, because you can't protect yourself. You don't have an employment contract, you can't enforce payment, you can't prove anything. You're basically working for free. It's a risk. So I get that. Now tell us about the second job that you got.
I got job hunted.
He just found you.
They just found me in LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, okay?
the guy called me, I think it was on Thursday. So he called me and was like, I need to be coming in Nelson Mandela Square. And then wanted me to be in Sandton around 3:30. So I told him that I won't be able to make it to Sandton at 3:30. So the guy insisted that even if you can't be able to travel to Sandton with that time, can we at least have an interview on Friday around 3:30? And then I told him that that's cool, we can do that.
So it was on Zoom or Microsoft Teams?
It was WhatsApp.
Oh, a WhatsApp call?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was like a video call.
Oh, on WhatsApp?
In WhatsApp.
Okay.
So we did the interview and then the guy said he's going to be interviewing me the second time on Saturday. So on Saturday, that's when we finalized everything.
Yeah.
I passed the interview and the guy told me that I should come to his office
on Monday. Yeah.
The guy told me that I'm supposed to be staying with him in Sandton Morningside, right? And then we had that agreement. On the way, when I went to Sandton, he told me that you're gonna be working with me from home because I'm not going to the offices for now.
Yeah.
Because of this COVID-19 thing. Then I agreed then to say that okay, I'll be working with you from home. And bear in mind that I didn't sign a contract with him. So because I was excited and I was desperate for a while.
And he never also said, I'm going to give you a contract.
He never said that. So I agreed that I'm going to be working with him from home. And then after a week and 2 days, he told me that I have to move to Sandton. I mean from Sandton to Four Ways. And then I did not have an agreement with him that I'm supposed to be moving from Sandton to Four Ways.
How did it come that he terminated your services?
He told me, the guy told me that he's suffering from his vision. So he doesn't see at all.
Yeah.
So he's only seeing from like this.
Yeah.
So if I send him documents or rather anything in Word or PDF, it takes time to go through it and edit it.
Yeah.
So that he can make some finalization to it.
Yeah.
So he said that to me that I can't be able to proceed with you because when you send me something, it takes me a bit of a time to go through your documentation.
Work. So basically he was saying he wasn't going to train you.
Yes, exactly.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he just decided, and this was what, how long were you working for him before he terminated?
It was just for 7 days.
7 days?
7 days. 7 days. And I was terminated like that. I cried. I don't want to lie to you. That was my very first time to cry for material stuff.
Yeah.
I cried and didn't tell my mom. I decided to tell Atlehang, and then I forwarded the message to the pastor.
How much was he paying you now?
We tacitly have an agreement that is going to pay me 10,000.
Without a contract?
Without a contract.
Yeah.
Now, when he terminated my employment contract through WhatsApp, he told me that you're going to get 1,066 rands.
Really?
Serious. And that's what he sent me. He sent me 1,066 rands. And now he's making the calculation of that of a person who was supposed to earn 5,000.
Yeah. So let me just clarify for people in case they didn't pick it up. This guy terminated your services 1 week after you had started working for him via an SMS.
Yes.
And basically he would say, don't come back to work. And he said, I'll pay you. But then he even wasn't going to pay you what you guys agreed on.
Yeah.
He was going to pay you a pro-rated fee of 5,000 rand instead of 10.
Yes.
And you couldn't even prove anything because you didn't have a contract.
Yes, exactly. I didn't argue that with him.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to confront him because I just said sharp.
Yeah. And then what happened? In order for you to find the job that you have right now,
And then as I was applying on LinkedIn, I used to apply for different posts because I was frustrated. My heart was just painful. I've applied for sales, I used to apply for compliance officers, even for whatever, even MTN and
Anything
that I see in LinkedIn.
It didn't even have to do with law.
Yes, exactly. So I used to send. So my CV got into this other guy. I've applied for sales to him, as he said. So I don't remember because I don't even know what is it that I applied for. I was just applying randomly because I was applying under the pain of hunger. I didn't have money. So the guy downloaded my resume and he noticed that this guy has got an LLB degree. The guy called me. I didn't have my phone at that time. So when I came back, I noticed that the guy even went further to send me a WhatsApp and also send me a voice note. He told me that I've noticed your CV on LinkedIn. You applied for something, for sales in my company. But then knowing the fact that you also have LLB degree, let me place you into my other role. I have a company which is immigration services. So it's like, let me give you a junior consultant position for my immigration company. So I'm like, okay, that's not a problem. I'm open to that. I'm ready for that. So the guy called me. He said I should come on Friday to meet him. Or they interviewed me and I got a job on spot. And surprisingly, the guy even told me that, okay, we're impressed by you. And that's how I got my job, and I started working on Monday. On the 4th of October. Did you sign a contract? I signed the contract. I have it in hand now. I even have it like under my bed. That's how important it is.
That's amazing. And also, you don't have to tell us how much you're earning, but I understand it's more than the 10,000.
For now, it's enough, to be very honest with you. It's enough to cover me, send it back home also, and also to sustain myself. It's enough, to be very honest with you.
So, Nello, your story just, it emphasizes how hard it is, like, to find a job, first of all, number one. Number two, like, there's just so many graduates that are in the same position as you, who are very frustrated. They don't know what they're going to do. But also, I think another thing that I learned is that you actually don't have to go the articles route straight away. I'm not saying don't do your articles, because if you want to be an attorney one day, you should pursue that. But there are other things that you can do when you finish with an LLB degree. You don't have to go straight into a practice. Obviously, it's ideal. To close it off, what is the advice that you have for current UNISA students now, in order for them not find themselves in your position? What would you advise them to do?
Okay. What I would advise people, firstly, I would advise them they should keep on hustling. Firstly, and secondly, don't be stuck in the fact that when you finish your LLB degree, you have to be a candidate attorney or you have to be an advocate. Try something, guys. There are a lot of different opportunities which are there if a person has got an LLB degree. So it can always be a lot of things, which is not even being an attorney, being an advocate. I also want to be an attorney, but now the situation doesn't allow me to be, and I would love to continue with that. What I'm doing is I'm investing much of my time in that migration services company. I need that experience because one day I'm going to open my own practice, which may not be related to that, but I would love to have that in my company. But a lot of discouragement that I received is from home. So it's always important to not listen to the public. You have to listen to yourself, listen to your God, and make sure that in that process you trust God for the best. So guys, make sure that you hustle and that's your own story. You're writing your own story, not writing our own story. That's your own story. So you make sure that your story should not be compared to the next person. if you have to do your candidate at any position, make sure that you apply. I remember I used to apply for 40 posts a day.
Yeah.
LinkedIn was my other room.
Yeah.
To be very honest with you, I used to apply for 40 vacancies. There's a guy that I was staying with. That guy pushed me a lot. He's the one who made my CV to look a bit better, because my CV was that one of names, surnames, identity number.
Yeah.
So he made sure that he improved my CV.
Yeah.
So I was staying with that guy.
Yeah.
So he assisted a lot.
Yeah.
So my advice is that push guys, don't stop pushing.
Yeah.
Even if you get rejected 10 times a day, keep on hustling, keep on applying. You do not lose anything to send a CV, neither do you lose anything when you receive a rejection.
Yeah.
It means something. Thank God if people respond to your emails to say we regret to inform you of what.
Yeah.
Thank God for that message. That message is a step to you are cordially invited to something.
Yeah, exactly.
So you must always keep on focusing on the stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the best advice that I could give to people.
Can I ask one more thing about UNISA? Do you think you would have studied somewhere else? If in hindsight, if somebody said choose again, would you go back to UNISA?
I wouldn't recommend anyone to go back to UNISA. It's difficult there. You're on your own.
Yeah.
You're on your own.
Yeah.
It's difficult to an extent that you need to be very disciplined. I finished my degree in 5 years. People who finish their degree in 5 years, especially LLB, they are the best.
Yeah.
To be very honest, because it takes almost 8 years. A lot of people do it 8 years. I remember the people that we finished with, we finished the degree in their 8th years. So it's difficult in there, and I would advise people to go to different institutions.
Yeah.
But if you love it with UNISA, you can continue.
Yeah.
I wouldn't discourage them to go there.
Yeah. Well, from my perspective, I want to say, and I'm not discouraging, people who are at UNISA, that because people's circumstances are different and people go to UNISA for various reasons, right? Sometimes distance learning is the only thing you can do. In fact, I understand if you go to UNISA if you are working.
Yeah.
But if you just come straight out of varsity and you don't have any other hindrances to go to a normal university, I would highly recommend that you study at your other, what do they call them?
Other institutions.
If it's not long distant learning, what is it?
Active participation, maybe school.
That's. I would recommend that people study at those type of universities. And also, if you're at UNISA, study hard, hey? I think it's very important because it's hard anyway to get a job in any event, and you're competing with other students who studied at like UCT, VITS, these big universities. Then you must push as hard as you can to like have great marks. Because if you have better marks, then I guess when you send your CV, you get somebody's attention.
Yeah, that's
true. If you don't have those great marks, they might look at you and then say, we're not going to give this person an opportunity. And already there's so much unemployment in South Africa, so you really need to work hard in whatever it is that you're doing over and above. But I think Nello's story is not really it's not only about working hard, but it's also about faith. Because Nello, come on, let's be honest, a lot of things that wherever we are, many of us can say, you know what, if it wasn't for God, we wouldn't be where we are right now.
Precisely.
So that's really what it is. At the end of the day, like what he said, like believe in your God and have faith that, you know what, something is going to come through for you eventually. Nello, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ate. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for inviting me to this session, Ate. I appreciate that a lot.
Guys, thanks for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe. And once again, thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for showing the support. Hope you guys have a good week. Cheers.